Hello, everyone. On this week's episode, we are going to be covering running the gambit of all of the topics. Lots of them. However, I'm going to highlight three of them. One, we are going to actually get a notification, yet another notification in the Teams activity feed for meeting recaps. But this is actually a really good thing, so we like this one. This notification. The second one I'd like to highlight is, you know, when you're in a breakout room and you're like, how did I get here? Like, I'd rather choose my own breakout room. How did I make it here in Teams? You're going to be able to. And maybe I won't say it's a negative message, but Microsoft is going to add a link to your SharePoint homepage. So maybe you should pay attention and maybe turn that off. Those messages and more on this week's episode, so stick around.
I stuck around, Daniel, because
yes, you did.
It interested me. Maybe you should turn it off.
Maybe. I don't know. If you care about user experience at all, maybe you should. Anyway. Hello, everyone. This is episode 344. 4? Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was.
Forgot to rename it in the recording. Sorry.
Second guessing myself. Hope everyone has had a great week. We had a great live episode at the end of last week, Friday, to prep for this show. We had a great attendance helping us out, picking which topics we should cover. So maybe you should do that and attend that as well. So we'd love for everyone who listens to the podcast, watches the video, check us out on YouTube. We make sure you're subscribed so that you will get the notification when we go live. This coming week, it'll be a day later than normal, but you can join and tell us what to do. You can order Daryl around. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can. I'm flexible. I can cope with that. But it is great to be able to connect with people live and talk about things. It takes me back to when we used to do the live shows, Daniel, with all the professionalism and flair that we had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flair. Love the flair.
What else can we say? You have an event coming up, so if people want to connect with Daniel in person, and have you got those stickers handy to be able to flash at the screen?
Yes,
you put them away at the end.
I did put them away. I was trying to, just get prepared.
Well, what's the event?
Will be in Washington, D.C. this week at TechCon 365. If you're in town, you're like, what is that? Come join us. You can register and do all that. It'll be at the convention center there in Washington, D.C. there. So you can go to techcon365.com to find all about it. However, I'll be there. Not however. Also, I'll be there along with other wonderful speakers. And if you see me, please I don't know about grab me, but maybe grab my attention. And I got limited edition stickers. These have this special holographic 365 on them. When they're gone, they're gone. So if you'd like a sticker, let me know. I'll be there with these and others. Hit me up, and would love to share the sticker wealth with you.
Daniel is our CSO.
Yes, Chief Sticker Officer, people. Love for you to grab a sticker and grab a seat in one of my sessions or a workshop. It's going to be a fun week. Fun week. I'm doing a workshop with Joanne Klein on collaboration and something else. I'm doing the collaboration bit. She's doing compliance, Microsoft Purview. And then I'm doing also co-presenting with Emily Mancini, another Microsoft MVP, on Copilot and search and the wonderful world of collaboration. So check all those sessions out. I'd love to have you there.
Definitely. I won't be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Good.
Especially as you represent and hand out stickers.
Yes.
Daniel, we should get into the messages. We have introed enough. We have encouraged people enough. No, you will always benefit from encouragement. But our first message, can I talk about news? The news. It's Microsoft SharePoint News Templates Updates. Yay! And it is MC847880. I love seeing developments in the news space, the communication space. We've got another message about that too a bit later, I think. It is still on the list. Maybe it's not. Oh well, we'll talk about it later. This one, news template updates. We use templates to create content in SharePoint, new pages, whether it be news or not. And you have got familiar with the template layouts as we choose something. We've more recently been able to choose templates that are optimized for email, for sending not only as a saving as a page, but also they will look great in an email. And what is changing with this update is the templates were categorized and sort of framed up as here's some that are made for email, here's some that are standard templates. But now, it seems, all of those templates will be optimized to work in email. Daniel, have you used templates and sent them out as emails this way?
Yeah, I have. One thing you just said, though, is an assumption, right? So I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. But I have used these, and there is a difference in the standard SharePoint news page and the email template page because there's two major differences. One is the formatting of the page, and they're basically starts you off in kind of one column, like making sure that it will look good in email. And it's also had limited web parts that you could actually use on those. With this change, what'll be interesting is how they handle that when you create a SharePoint news. It sounds like to me, Daryl, that they're all going to be emailable in a way that is nice. Because we've been able to send these via email, a page, be able to, but is this, how nice is it going to be if it's, if it's a regular...
Can I say, because I've seen this, and given that it is public news, but I tried this even as early as recent as yesterday. And I used a template which was using a couple of different types of quick links. I think I had included a picture and a video or something. Mm-hmm. So it does format in that kind of single column way that you'd expect to look at a page on a mobile device. But I think what it's doing is where there are web parts that probably wouldn't normally be optimized for email, it's trying to substitute it in and say, oh, you chose this type of quick link. Well, I'm going to use this format. Something like that. Or
interesting.
Here's the grid look, and it's a large tile. So we'll see what that looks like when it is released for everybody.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but you're right. It's an assumption because it doesn't just say, hey, all pages will work. Because when Microsoft say something like that, they will say it clearly in a message like this, won't they?
Yes.
And it's an assumption. After this rollout, users will, using SharePoint news posts, will have a greater opportunity to share those pages as fully rendered email instead of sharing links. Well, this is going to be rolling out targeted release in mid-August and complete by mid-August. And mid-August is next week. And general availability worldwide, DoD, GCC, High, and GCC will begin rollout late August and complete early September. Moving into our next message, Daniel, I want you to notify me about this. Especially at the end of this meeting, I want to know when we're done. So
Microsoft Teams, notification and activity feed and banner when intelligent meeting recap is ready. MC853231. So for those of you that are using the intelligent meeting recap, I love it. Teams Premium, I'm using Teams Premium, and it goes, hey, the intelligent part is it shows me who's speaking, during the recording, and when they're speaking, and then it does AI like, these people said these things, here's the action items, and all. It's wonderful. Frequently, what I've done is I've waited, meeting's over, I've gone and got a cup of coffee, come back, and it's not done yet. I'm like, I want to capture those and maybe send out, or do some of the action items or check what AI has caught, but it's not done yet. And you're like, ugh. And I frequently, maybe I'm telling on myself, then move on to something else and then forget to go back to it. Well, now we are going to have the capability, and for in Teams, in the activity feed and a banner, to say, hey, the intelligent meeting recap is done. It's ready. And so I don't have to go and hit F5 and wait, and when is it going to be done? It's going to proactively tell me when it's done. So I'm excited about this. Daryl, I would assume you're excited about it too, because this seems like a pretty useful feature, and we're able to tweak the notification settings and stuff like that, right? So if you don't want to be annoyed by this kind of stuff, you can turn it off. So,
yep.
What do you think?
I suffer the same challenge, Daniel, that I will get to the end of a meeting. When I'm blocking out time in a calendar, if it's a meeting that is going to require some recap and responses, I often want to do that while I'm still in the zone, I'm thinking about it. And to be able to go back and see those AI notes, we know that it takes a while for the AI to churn around in the background, understand the transcript, compact it, have all the different collapsible ways of drilling down into the topics. That takes time. And I will also forget to go back to it. So the notification, great. We've got options about whether it's a banner notification or just drop it into the activity feed. Yes, good move. Good feature.
Well, when is it coming out? You just asked me, I'm sure.
I did.
Not you, Daryl, because I'm talking about the people that are watching and listening.
Break it down for us, Daniel.
Targeted release, rolling out early September 2024, completed by mid-September. General availability worldwide will be mid-September and through late September. GCC, late October through early November 2024. So I am definitely looking forward to that. What I'm also looking forward to is taking a break, because I want you to do 2 messages instead of 1. I'm just going to...
I can do that.
Okay.
I know that we...
Also,
yes.
I want you to do it quickly.
So is that quickly for both of those messages or each of those messages?
Sure.
I'm burning time. We categorize our messages. We call these ones shorties because they're on the same topic. So we group them together. Our first one, Compose in Microsoft Edge sidebar is being retired. And, this was published on 5th of August and was updated on the 6th of August. MC851615. I guess they figured they needed to add a little more detail to clarify what's happening here. Microsoft Edge, you can sign into it with your Entra credentials. I'm still getting used to saying that. Sign in with your work credentials. And it will protect your data when you're using Copilot. You open up your panel, great. Now, one of the things in that panel, not just the search in terms of chat and asking things of Copilot, but also Compose. Compose has been quite useful, hasn't it? You can go in there and ask Copilot to create something for you and say, what sort of, type of format it's going to be using, the tone, how long, etc. Well, guess what? It's being retired. For those who are signing in with the Entra ID. Now, if you cast your mind back, okay, I'm trying to keep this real short, but cast your mind back to last episode, we were talking about a fancy way of opening up Compose alongside our work content and then bringing that over and popping that into, well, that's now been removed. However, if you want to sign out of your work account, maybe have a freebie account open over here with Microsoft signed in, apparently this is still going to be available for consumer accounts. work your way around this. But we'll first of all, we'll tail this off. Daniel, have you got any thoughts before I talk about the related message?
I absolutely do, but you covered them. I mean, I think it's very interesting that they're turning it off for people who are logged into an Edge profile with their work account, basically, Entra ID, but not for the personal one, because this is not, it doesn't say personal too here, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I guess you'll have to buy a license to use the compose type of features. So this change is occurring late August. It'll stop working in Edge for you. Related to this, second message is Copilot in Microsoft Edge mobile application is being retired for Entra ID users. Do you see the pattern? MC8532228. If you're using Edge on your mobile and you're signed in with your work account, and maybe you start using Copilot there, then don't expect it to be there for, when is this changing?
Don't.
Late August. Yeah, just don't. Look, it doesn't actually say that anything's changing with the Copilot app that is standalone. So I think, you can still sign in and use that with your credentials if you're licensed or I don't even know.
Isn't that interesting? Like, there is such a push for combining things. Let's put everything in one app. We don't want a bunch of apps. And now it's, we want you to use the Copilot app, separately. And it's very interesting.
It's like an accordion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going out. But it is an interesting change. The theme here is it's the Entra ID. So if you are a work account where you're protecting your work data, you're signed in, it feels like they're taking away some Copilot functionality from the Edge experience. How are you going to get that back? The natural inclination is buy the license and you'll see this somewhere else and in some other form. But maybe it'll turn up in some other form. Maybe they're shifting this somewhere else. So
this one is, we will see it in the M365 mobile app.
Yep.
Cool.
Not alongside what you're browsing.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that change is occurring late August. For release of the version 128 for Edge Mobile. Okay, I don't actually often look that deep, but I mean that will be important for admin people who look at version numbers. But let's continue to keep it short because I managed to do that across 2 messages. And Daniel, this one surely is a short message.
Shirley? Oh, my name's not Shirley. Microsoft 365 Admin Center. New self-service purchase and trial settings MC853238. Yes, finally. I'm hearing the collective admin, I wouldn't say groan, but applause. It's like a golf clap. Like, yeah, finally. So we've been able to administer the self-service purchasing settings and trial settings via PowerShell. Now we're going to be able to do it in the browser. So this is for those global admins can now make a setting or access the setting for these services to allow trials and purchases or only trials or do not allow purchases at all. So you'll be able to select that, and that's in that second screenshot, the different selections you'll be able to set. I think when this came out, we were like, the first one that came out, they said, we'll put a PowerShell in. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was on the Power Platform. I don't remember.
It was Power BI, wasn't it?
I don't remember what the first one was.
Power Automate?
Maybe our listeners will remember. Throw a comment down below, and if you're watching the video, if you're on the audio podcast, or even if you're watching the video, hit us up on all the socials that matter at 365MCS. What was the first self-service product in Power Platform or M365 that allowed this? I can't remember which specifically. It feels like it was Power Automate or maybe Power BI, but I don't remember. It's not that important to me right now. However, the we're going to be able to control this. But when it came out, we're like, oh, we need a way to control it. And then they're like, oh, here's some PowerShell. And we're like, okay, cool. I mean, PowerShell is great, but man, it would be really great to have in the browser. Now we can. That's all this message is. It's coming in the browser. Love it. Anything to say, Daryl, about
No.
this?
Nothing further. Nothing further, Your Honor.
General availability worldwide. Rolling out mid-September. Expected to be completed by late September. Daryl, I'd like for you to take a little bit more time on this message. Mm-hmm. And, maybe it's a little bit more like choose your own adventure. You can choose one room or another to...
I like that. Yeah. Microsoft Teams meeting participants can choose breakout rooms from a list. And this is MC854652. It is exactly what it sounds like. And Daniel, that was quite an inspirational way of using breakout rooms. All right. Let's slow it down. I think we explained it a bit earlier, but imagine being able to go along to a meeting. We're going to use breakout rooms to increase the opportunity for interaction. So we're not passing the talking stick around and only one person's talking and everyone else is listening. We can break out to those rooms. What we've had to do up until this point is set up those rooms ahead of time, maybe even choose people who are going to be in certain rooms, or we try and quickly set them up in a meeting. And the best option there, of course, is set up the rooms and then randomly choose people to assign. But this option allows you to set up the rooms and then say, they're open, you choose. And so the scenarios we can see here, like Daniel said, choose your own adventure. Imagine that the adventure you want to engage in this workshop, this meeting is I want to go work on this topic with that focus. I don't think it goes to the point of here are the people that are in that breakout room, because imagine that, Daniel, it'd be a bit like high school. We're like, I want to go work with those people because, no. But yeah, at least you can choose your own rooms. And this is really good. Really, what other ideas have you got for this, Daniel? Because I see it really helpful in workshops.
Yeah, workshops, training, brainstorming. It might be good to set up rooms. You could assign, but what if you were doing, you could do departments, setting up for each department or a role. And just say, put yourself in the role instead of having to go, wait a minute, what role are you in? Okay, I'm going to put you there. And, no, just have people go in their own roles. I think it also could help with that idea of an ongoing, if you're doing ongoing office hours or whatever, and you have breakout rooms to do different topics, and I'm coming to get some help. It's like, I need this topic, and so I'm going to select this room to go in there instead of, being in a big group and asking questions that, or listening to other people's questions that, I have no idea or have no desire to listen to. Stuff like that. I think this is, frankly, I'm like, yeah, this is a feature that, man, I wish it had always been there, but now that it is, I'm happy for it.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing this. I think that we've talked about the ideas, and there'll be more thoughts around this to come. It is going to be available for Windows and Mac and web, so it's not like it's only coming to certain places.
Yeah.
General availability, or rather targeted release, late September, complete late October. General availability worldwide in GCC. In late September and complete late October, GCC High DoD in late October and complete in late November. Nice to see the full spread as it is rolled out. Prepare for more options for interaction. We'll finish on this interesting message in the Viva space. Tell us about it, Daniel. What's happening and what's happening here? Is this something to do with a link?
A link.
A link.
That's all it is.
Is it?
However,
link it then.
That's all it is. Microsoft Viva. Updates to connections on the web. MC 855689. All right, people. So we covered the message that talked about that Viva Connections, you could get to it in the browser as well as in Teams, right? It's always been a Teams app. You could also get in the browser. Cool. Well, Microsoft really wants you to start using connections in the browser. If you're in the browser, you're looking at your SharePoint site. Now, this is your SharePoint home, right? That home you've designated. Well, Microsoft is going to add a link in the top right, whether you want it or not. They're going to put it there. It is something that you can turn off, I guess, after it rolls out.
Daniel, just pause here. I know, it's mid-message, but can we just do something for the thumbnail? We've got to do what everyone does and point to the right corner.
Are we going to?
Is that your right corner?
I don't know. I'm doing it the same way you are.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll just use that.
They're going to turn it. It's rolling out on by default, which is, I think, a terrible move. And so that means once it's on, you're going to have to turn it off, or maybe the setting will roll out before it. I don't know. It doesn't say that it will. So be looking out for when your experience changes and there's this link up there, then you'll be able to turn it off if you want to. Maybe you want to leave it on. But basically, it's just a link for your user. When they come to your SharePoint home site in the browser, they'll see this link in the top right that says for you to go to connections. And you click on it and go to it. Now, what happens if you've renamed Viva Connections in the Teams app? Is it going to keep that name in this link? I highly doubt it. Go to connections? What do you mean connections? Connections seems like you're assuming people know what Viva Connections is. And frankly, I don't think users care. Typically, I see organizations renaming Viva Connections in Teams anyway to something else, like their name of their intranet or whatever. So, having this go to connections is very interesting. I'd at least want to be able to rename that. I don't like the go to connections link. I do see a discrepancy in the screenshots. One screenshot shows you the link in the top right. Connections has a little c. In the other screenshot, it shows you how you turn it off. It has it as a big C that it'll put it in there. So what's that discrepancy? Also, it says once your once your changes are saved, they may take up to 2 weeks to take effect. I'm not sure if that's because of just caching, or I'm assuming that's what it is caching. Yeah. But 2 weeks, that's a long time. I don't like this setting. Sorry, I just don't. And if I'm Microsoft, if you're rolling this out, I would greatly appreciate you leaving it off and telling us about it so we can turn it on. I suspect you're doing it to turning on by default because you want people to use Viva Connections instead of SharePoint Home. That's, I don't know, Daryl, am I leaping?
That's my
taking
take.
a leap there? Okay.
No, that's my take. That we saw, this was last year. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. The Viva Connections was changed to load the connections home rather than your intranet page by default. No chance to opt out easily. There was some warning, but no, it came back. To run a PowerShell.
It was changed. Yeah, it was changed. They said we're going to do it by default, and it's like, wait a minute, what? And so then they're like, okay, you can switch it beforehand with PowerShell, but if you don't, we're going to.
And look, I'm not really jazzed about the connections home anyway. We've got a dashboard. We've got some quick links that don't function as quick links. They're a bit hobbled, really, and a carousel of the news. Mm-hmm. Whoops.
He said it emphatically as he hits his microphone.
Whoops.
So, if so inclined, you agree with us. Now, you don't have to. I'm not encouraging you to have that opinion. No. You don't have to. But if you are so inclined, click that thumbs down button and say, hey, I don't like this being turned on by default. That seems not in the best interest of most organizations. I don't know. Whatever. whatever you want to say there. But if you like it, give it a thumbs up. So this is rolling out targeted release early August 2024. And that's like nowish. So I wonder if it's already there for me.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Mine.
No, it's not for me either. And expect to be completed by mid-August. General availability worldwide, GCC and GCC High and DoD. Rolling out mid-August, completed by late September. So this is coming fast. So, be looking out for it, because if it's there, you can, deal with it, whether you want to, leave it on or turn it off. But if you haven't rolled out this, this concept, I guess, to your users of Viva connections in the browser, this may be confusing. If they see this link now, it's like, what is this? And they click on it. If they don't understand the concept and you haven't trained or notified them, then you might want to turn this off until you do that. Just my opinion. Well, that's the show.
That is.
People, hope you enjoyed it. We definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. Hit us up on the socials. Hit us up in the comments as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any and all of these messages. We'd love interacting on the socials and as well as in the comments on the video. Make sure you share this episode, pretty please, out on socials as well as with your colleagues. Let's bring them along, and so we're all on the same page.
Great. 3:45 next week. See you then. Bye.